So yesterday there was an article posted by Bionic Comics. Apparently, the people who wrote the new Matrix movie. I have no I'm not a fan of the Matrix. I never saw any of them. One time, someone thought I did because a free verse poem I did mentioned the name Morpheus. But yeah, I've never seen any of them. I remember my buddy Wesley back in the day. He had a game that was based on one of the movies, or had something to do with the movies. I don't remember. Didn't look like my cup of tea. It was always weird looking to me. Which is kind of funny coming from me, of all people, because I like weird shit. But anyway, they said the reason they wrote it was because they wanted to reclaim the term red pill from the right, or the far right, or whatever. And I actually said this to on a Discord, and my buddy, well, not buddy, but we get along pretty well, Pyro. Interesting guy to talk to, but anyway, he said, so they did this basically not because they wanted, that was the whole reason they'd made this movie. There was no other motivation, so, and I think that is something that is infuriating about the modern entertainment industry, it is all political now. Like, people have this backwater, asinine belief that everything has to be political or it's nothing. It's political or go home. I think this is a bullshit mindset to have. Mainly because I think it was Albert Maltz who once said this makes for shallow entertainment. Granted, he later denounced this article he wrote, but yeah, I think it was a fair point. It does make, this isn't like an attack on people who have used who've channeled politics into their work. Some people have made works of art, literature, and movies using politics, but they did it right. What do I mean by right? They didn't beat you over the fucking head with it. There was no ham-fisting. With modern entertainment, it is ham-fisted. It is beating you over the head, and it's, if you don't like it, you're a bad person. That is more or less the point I would get at. Because there have been horror films, like, if you watch documentaries on horror films now, especially when they've got interviews from Wes Craven, although sometimes I wonder if they're blowing smoke out their ass when they talk about this stuff. Anyway, they actually talk about some of the politics of what they were doing. And a lot of these guys who've made horror films, they were very political. They were very left-leaning. But I still enjoy the stuff they made. I still think Freddy Krueger is one of the best horror villains of all time. Wes Craven was a very big raging liberal, apparently. I really don't care. But the politics he injected into his work made it better. Or it caused him to make something that will stand the test of time, hopefully. I say hopefully. Knowing the retards of the world now, they'd probably want to destroy everything under the yellow sun. But anyway. I just think this is asinine and, like, really, you can have politics, but you don't need to beat us over the fucking head with it. And if politics is your only motivation for making a movie, then you're in the wrong business. You're supposed to be entertaining me. That's what Wes Craven and John Carpenter got right. While there was political things to their work, it still entertained people. Which I think that has become lost on these people in Hollywood now, is they think it is all, we have to push our political agenda and push it down people's throats or no one will like. And we keep saying we don't like your shit, and they either ignore us or tell us to go fuck ourselves. So, yeah. Not a good look. But, and I'm going off the cuff with this one, so bear with me. And if I haven't made this clear in the past, I'll make it clear now. I don't care what your political affiliation is. You can be a liberal, you can be a conservative. I do not give a shit. All I care about is what are you making and is it entertaining? Why should I give a shit? If you say to me it has this political slant in it, I don't give a shit. Like, if it's a video game, if you are making a video game, it can have political stuff and I wouldn't care. I just can't be beating me over the fucking head or be cringe. I don't care if it's woke or based. Just make me something that I want to have. Like, and this is also something that I think sucks about the modern entertainment industry also, is that There are things I would not mind seeing adapted to the big screen, like Deus Ex series, like Mankind Divided or Human Revolution. I would not mind seeing that being made into a noir live-action TV series. Like, I would love that, actually. And I've just recently gone back to playing it because I took a break from it and remembered I had it, so I thought, why not play it? Why not go back to it? And, yeah, there are also other things I would not mind seeing being adapted. I'm sorry, my brain does not want to work sometimes. There are some things I would not mind seeing be remade, like The Highlander, it's being remade. I would not mind seeing an adaptation of Jack and Daxter, although I would like it to be made in a similar vein to Arcane, but anyway. I would not mind seeing a resurgence of westerns and noir. Unfortunately, we now live in a world full of hacks, and they unfortunately control the entertainment industry. If you do not believe me, look at Jar Jar fucking Abrams. A talentless hack who cannot write worth a damn, and who's only good at visuals. And still thinks the mystery boxes and lens flares are the way to go. Seriously, Jar Jar Abrams, grow the fuck up or broaden your horizons. I don't care which. But for fuck's sake. What a douchebag. Oh, I'm sorry, a hipster douchebag. I forgot that hipster part. But yeah, I wouldn't have minded there being an Elric and Mel DeMonet adaptation. And I've only read a few of the comics of Elric, but I would not have minded that. But now, you have these hacks in charge of everything who make everything political, who tear down stuff that came before to build up their own crap. And it's like, I'm glad these things aren't getting adapted. Like, I'm glad that Elric series they were working on got scrapped because, granted, I'm pissed about the justification where they said it was too much like The Witcher, to which I have to say, are you kidding me? The Witcher stole from Elric. It's pretty blatant at this point that it stole from it, you talentless douchebags, or you spineless and intellectually inadequate douchebags. But anyway, so I'm glad now that these things are not being adapted because, like, I once asked online what the chances are, I asked on Twitter, what are the odds of there being a Deus Ex series of noir made in the future? They said it probably would not be a good idea, or someone did, that they would try to make it about trans people. Now, I got no problem with trans people, and I highly doubt the person who told me that did it either. But, yeah, I can see that happen. Transhumanism would just be, like, used as a vehicle to push the whole transsexual identity thing down our throats. And I would just be like, you bastards. You bastardized Deus Ex for me. You motherfucking bastards. Crime, damn it. Anyway. And this is and they kind of have also done this with, what was it? The Wheel of Time. I've been watching Shadowversity's takes on it on Night's Watch. And it just sounds like they have taken the Wheel of Time book series and creatively bent it over a barrel and showed it to 50 states against its will. Because they have written some terrible shit. They've had a few good lines of dialogue, but that is it. From what I've been hearing, anyway. So if they don't try to do something political, they will do that, where they will just fuck it up and ruin it. And then one of the guys in charge of the series has said he wants to make the characters gauge to piss some people off. They've made it to where Perrin now likes Egwene, and I don't think that was in the books. Then again, I'm still listening to the audiobook, but anyway. So you got that, but back to the main point. The point is, you do not need politics for something to be good. Now, you can take some ideas you have from politics and channel it into a TV show or a movie or a book. I mean, just look at Star Trek. It has, like, liberal idealism. I think it was Sargon of Akkad who described it as liberal idealism from, like, at the time when New Generation was being made by Roddenberry. That's another example. So, yeah, there are other horror films that have been influenced by political bents. That's what Carrie was. I mean, it was also kind of a rage against, kind of made religious people look like dumbasses, but then again, I have to imagine at the time Stephen grew up, they were dumbasses. I mean, religious people, no offense, but there were times when you could be assholes. And I say that as a religious man, so just putting that out there. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. The point is just stop. We need to stop doing this. Where like you can have politics, but there's a fine line, and these people are going up to the line and pissing on it and saying "fuck you," I'll do what I want. Which normally that would be a mindset I wouldn't have a problem with because I like it when people do their own thing. But at the same time, what you're doing sucks. It sucks ass through a straw. Stop it. Bad dog. And, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on this. And this has gone longer than I thought it would, if I'm being perfectly honest. But, yeah, just, we do not need, like, those, if it's not politics, it's socio-political stuff they're putting in. Like, they're tearing down men. They're destroying father figures. They did this in The Wheel of Time. They make men look like incompetent idiots. They tear them down so they can build up female characters. Like, why can you not build up both the male and the female characters? Why does it just have to be one? I mean, I try not to read too much into this, but it feels like feminist supremacy sometimes. If that's even a word. Anyway, I think I'll call it here. I have no idea where I was going with this. Just wanted to get this off my chest. So have a nice day. Remember the game was rigged from the start, and for God's sake, people in the entertainment industry, go back to making good stuff instead of giving us schlock, or worse than schlock.